My name is Liz, the voice behind the hands, I guess, of Heretic Tarot. And I'm like, where am I looking? Here we go. Hello. I keep feeling this urge to get on here and show my face, and I don't know why that is. Why would I do that? I don't know. Um, but here I am. So when, so this urge started kind of coming to me, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what would I even do? Like, the thought of actually doing a tarot reading by like showing my face like this, no. So my other thought, and part of that is because I'm like, you'll probably notice this at some point, but I cannot hold a focus to like this little, camera lens. I look all over the place. I usually, when I'm sitting here doing tarot readings, I'm looking outside. I'm staring at trees. I'm watching birds. Like, um, so I don't know. It's like, do I can't imagine showing my face when I'm not even looking at, the camera because I can't hold my focus there. So I don't know. Anyway, when I kind of started thinking about like, well, what would I do? Because, just wanting to honor that urge, that feeling, because it does feel good. But, I was like, okay, well, what would I do instead? So then I thought, well, maybe I'll just kind of get on and like introduce myself and give, some little tidbits about me. Because I don't know, have I ever really done that? I have no clue. I don't remember. But also too, just to say that I realized that I was a bit inconsistent last year as far as posting videos and when I was posting videos and how often, whatever. And I don't know how much of that is going to change, but I do want to make it a priority again because I really do enjoy doing this. I love I love tarot readings. I love giving them. I love receiving them. I love watching them. So but part of the reason, and actually the actual reason why I was so inconsistent with that last year is because I felt like I was dying. Not to be dramatic, but I was basically operating at like my lowest setting, like basic survival, really. And come to find out, I was actually diagnosed with severe sleep apnea, which I believe that I've actually been suffering from since high school, which was a long time ago. But I was really relieved, though, to receive that diagnosis because also there was already like a path of treatment available, and it was then waiting for that because, of course, that took a lifetime to finally come around. But I've been on CPAP treatment since the beginning of January, actually, and I feel like a completely different person. I mean, I feel alive, which feels good. I feel rested. I feel present. It just, what a difference it makes. So I'm also convinced that everybody has sleep apnea. So if you have access to it, highly recommend a sleep study because, man, the power of sleep, right? So anyway, I'm also like I'm very excited to do my first set of videos after being on treatment for a month. I guess today would be a month. Today is February 5th. I have no clue when I'm actually going to start the actual tarot readings. I don't think I'm going to do that today, probably tomorrow. But anyway, I'm excited. I mean, maybe nothing will change. I don't know. Maybe some things will. We'll see how it goes. But how exciting is that? It's exciting for me anyway. I also might like I don't really have this set up to do the, like the my table and me, but I might see if I can finagle something and just try it. Just, have like the camera on the table and then have like a little overlay of me in the corner. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. If you don't see me up there, I didn't figure it out because I'm not super tech savvy in that type of way, but maybe eventually a solution for that will come up. But otherwise, just a little bit about me because I did kind of decide that I was making this an introduction type of thing, but I can't give you too much information because the more I remain mysterious, the better. And that is because I'm a 5/1 human design profile, manifesting generator, emotional authority. And with that 5/1 profile, the whole familiarity breeds contempt. Did you, if you heard Taylor Swift's song Bejeweled, she says that in there. She's a 5/1 also. So I'm like, there's no doubt somebody gave her a human design reading somewhere down the road, right? Or she could have just Googled her own chart. But anyway, so yeah, the more I remain mysterious and behind the projection of the fifth line, as long as it's a positive projection, right? Because on the other side of that is being burned at the stake. But anyway, so 5/1 manifesting generator, emotional authority, lifting a cross of uncertainty. I have a lot of gates in uncertainty gates, so I'm never sure about shit. But even, like as far as like putting my face out here, right? Like part of me, like I feel like there is kind of this like evolution, just there's some sort of change I feel as far as either the way that I present videos or the way that I do them. And part of me, like a big part of me wants to wait until I figure that out. I don't know if that's my Virgo moon. I don't know what that is, but the other part of me is like, no, I mean, like we figure it out by trying, right? So you kind of like push through the uncertainty and eventually certainty shows up. So we'll see what happens. But I'm a Cancer rising, if you can't tell by my super round face. I'm also a Cancer Venus. And like I said, Virgo moon, Taurus sun. And what else? I am clearly into plants, if you can't tell. I also sell plants. I have a plant stand at a coffee shop in downtown Colorado Springs. So if you're ever in the area, check out the Perk downtown. I have my plants in there. I absolutely love it. It's so fun, but my house looks like a jungle because it's also my greenhouse. It's where I keep my property for that business. And I am attuned to Reiki master level. And before every reading, I set the intention for the message to come through me, not from me. I clear the space. I also get consent from every deck that I use in every reading. I have consent from it to use it for all 12 readings. And the way that I do that is usually there's a deck that just kind of like pops up in my mind. And I'll shuffle that deck until a card comes out. And if it's a general positive card, I take that as a yes. If it's a general negative, quote unquote, card, then I take that as a no and I'll try a different deck. I do that for all my readings, personal readings, if I'm doing an event, obviously YouTube, Instagram, which I've also been super inconsistent with and want to get back on to posting daily readings on there. But anyway, I get consent every time from the decks that I use to use them for the readings. And is there anything else? I realize like how long this actually is, and now I'm like, shut up. So is there anything else I want to tell you for now? Because I just lost my train of thought. I don't know. That's it. I'm so glad that you're here. If you watch this whole thing, thank you. Follow me on Instagram for daily readings eventually, if you care about those. And last thing I'll say is that I do my readings based on human design profile, and you don't have to know your human design profile or anything about human design in order for the message to be for you. I mean, if anything, you would have to know your human design profile, I guess, right? But you don't even have to know anything else about it. You don't have to know anything about human design. I don't generally go into very heavy human design terms. I might talk about strategy and authority sometimes, but the message is still the message for you, even if you have no clue about human design. And if you don't have any clue about human design, I'm happy that I introduced you to it, because it unlocked some stuff for me that was pivotal in my healing and self, acceptance and love journey. So anyway, I think that's all that I'll say for now. If there's anything else that I'm missing, I'll just say it in the video. And I'll see you later. Bye. Hello again. I have to say hello at the beginning of every video. I have to. Anyway, so we're doing this double video thing. We'll see how it goes. I've only successfully actually edited one video all the way through. So this is my fourth video. I'm going in order this time. I usually choose the order of readings from this little bowl. But this time, since I was doing something different, I'm like reaching for comfort or something. I don't know. But I decided to do the readings in order from 1-3 to 6-3. So anyway, you're the fourth reading that I've done. I think probably the final one that I'll do for the day today, because then I need to probably work on editing the videos and actually get them uploaded, right? But it's interesting because, it's been a shit show, and it's gotten better as, each video has gotten better. Just even my comfort level of my face. It's so funny that this is even coming up today, because, and just interesting that it's coming up in general, because I don't know if you follow astrology. I took like a deep dive into astrology in the month of January. I'm still deeply whatever into astrology, but kind of took a break to do these videos. But there's a lot of big energies that are happening in the next week that haven't happened in the last like couple hundred years from the sounds of things. And just, planets coming together in certain signs, and especially Pluto just changing zodiac signs, right? And just even like that kind of energy. And all these planets are all grouped around Pluto. So anyway, I feel so tired, which is so funny because, in my intro, right, I said that I have been on CPAP treatment for sleep apnea, and I feel rested and alive. But like the last, I would say 2 days, I just feel tired. I was even telling a friend earlier, I'm like, I feel so tired and I have no reason for that. So anyway, I actually looked up the transits for today, and I kind of had to chuckle because the moon and Venus are like basically right on top of each other. I think they're 1 degree apart right now. in Capricorn, and they are almost exactly opposing my natal Venus that's in Cancer. I'm a Cancer rising, like I mentioned. So it's almost in direct opposition from my natal Venus. And obviously, like the moon rules Cancer. So to have the moon and Venus transiting and being conjunct, like right on top of each other, which would be opposing my my natal Venus and almost like my actual like ascendant degree, not to the same like extent as my natal Venus, but anyway, so it's interesting that, you know, here I am putting my face out there, feeling a little even insecure because, you know, I mean, this is how I look. It doesn't matter, right? Like, getting over that insecurity of, you know, showing up in a certain capacity, right? Because this is how I look. I would leave the house looking like this. So why wouldn't I show up in my own videos looking like this, right? So it's even been like this cool lesson about like authenticity and like showing up as you are, and Venus and the moon. So anyway, just astrology, you know, that's why I love all this shit. So change and progress. You know, what is also so cool is that you know, like I don't really start these videos having an intention to say certain things. And even if anytime I have had an intention that like, oh, I'm going to talk about that, I never do. I always end up kind of going in like a different direction. And it's just so cool. Like, this is why I love tarot and I love sharing messages with you guys because, I mean, no doubt the reason why I am even saying those things is because I'm sure you could probably recognize that somewhere in your life, right? Like that there is something that is changing. I mean, you know, granted, so Venus and the moon right now, anyway, being conjunct in Capricorn. Today's date is February 7th. What house is Capricorn for you? For me, it's the 7th house, which is relationships and other people. And here I am showing my face to you guys who are the other people, right? Like, I could cry right now. My little Cancer rising wants to drop a tear right now. How Cancer is that, you know? But anyway, so this is change and progress. What I was going to say though is that like even, you know, what I was saying in the beginning, and you'll see me do this a lot because I don't know if the camera is auto-focusing and it kills me a little bit if it's blurry for an extended period of time. I feel like it makes me look bad. And I hate that. So you'll see me do this, you know, I'm just doing some shoulder exercises. But I think it's cool because, you know, we were talking about change and progress and showing up as we are, right? And allowing ourselves to just be. And then this card of change and progress comes out. Even like look at, you know, on this card, the sail is a bit beat up. They've clearly been through some stuff, right? This cat is like hanging on for dear life, but this person, they're smiling, right? It could even just be like a sign of relief or something that they made it to the shore, because it looks like right here anyway, this is the shore, you know, they're pulling up so that they can get off of this raft. There's even these rapids back here. For all we know, this is where they came from. And that's why this cat is like, I'm surprised we survived that. Um, so let's see what your tarot is. Tarot messages. I mean, you know, you could be either the cat or the person. You could be like, holy shit. I am surprised I survived that. Or you could be, you know, like the kid that saw it as an adventure. There was this one time, so we have the Queen of Swords, we have the Two of Pentacles. I hope you can see everything okay. I'll check once all the tarot is out, which I think I forgot to do in the 2-4 reading. So hopefully, I haven't even watched that back yet. Hopefully, everything is in frame. But oh, so there was this one time, my dad and I used to go on like a fishing trip every year. Just for fun. Like I never caught any fish. If we did ever catch any fish, if he ever caught any fish, because I never did, we would end up throwing them back anyway. But we went to, I think it was Fish Lake or something. I don't know if that's in Utah or Arizona. But so we were on the lake in this little boat, you know, like one of those like aluminum boats or whatever, you know, that had a motor on it. And all of a sudden there was this, that's too many. There we go. That was one of the cards that came out, but there were 2 cards and I said that was too many. And then the Chariot was like, okay, fine, just me. Anyway, let me finish my story really quick and then related to this change in progress card. So we're on this little boat. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this crazy windstorm comes in and creates crazy waves. And we're way out on this lake. And I believe, who is it? Like the park ranger or whoever that like, polices lakes. I don't know what they're called. I can't think of the word all of a sudden. But they came out on their boat and they were like, you know, we're getting everybody off of the lake because the storm showed up. So my dad is in the back. He's in the back on the motor, you know, like working the motor and guiding us, whatever. And he is stressed out. He looks just like this cat, stressed. And I'm in the front of the boat and I have my arms out and I'm like, woo! He was so mad. But he was like, you know, yelling at me to calm down. But, you know, it was because he was stressed out. But I didn't see it as anything to necessarily, like, I didn't see it as being a worry. I just saw it like we're kind of, you know, like jumping on these waves a little bit. But, you know, I can understand why he would be stressed because what if we flipped over? What if, you know, I mean, both of us could swim, but still, who wants to do that? So anyway, it's like you could be the person in the back who is stressed out over progress and change, or you could be seeing it as an adventure. It's not even like one way is right or wrong. It's just whichever one you are, right? So anyway, let's see what cards actually came out on the table because I don't think I even said anything. So we have the Queen of Swords, Two of Pentacles, the Strength card, Seven of Wands, the Tower, and the Chariot. Very interesting. And then the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. Love that. So let's just start with the Queen of Swords. So swords have to do with our mind. It's ideas, thoughts. How are we communicating our ideas and our thoughts? It's also like truth and honesty, but like divine truth. It's objective, right? It's based on knowledge. It's based on what you can prove. It's not based on feeling. It's not based on emotion. I also see the suit of swords as being the suit of ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to feelings, that we attach to experiences, circumstances, memories, right? And it becomes the reason why we do and don't do things, why we perceive our realities in a certain way, why we think about ourselves in a certain capacity, right? So queens are when we embody the energy of the suit within ourselves. So we recognize the energy. It's like we master the energy ourselves before, sharing or guiding other people. And, the Queen of Swords is usually described as being cold. I mean, she's sitting on this like crystal throne. She's got the Ace of Swords raised. She has a quill in her other hand too. So it's this feeling about like expressing your truth in some capacity. I mean, maybe it's writing your truth out. Maybe it's even like discovering something to be true about yourself. The Queen of Swords she has no time for bullshit. She's going to be able to see BS coming. And she's like, I don't have time, place, energy for it, which is partly why she has the sword raised there. 'Cause she's like, try it. Right? And maybe it does take an energy of being like serious in a certain capacity in order to recognize what is true, like what thoughts are helping you and what thoughts aren't helping you. It's also even about like getting clear in your thoughts, in the way that you want to communicate, what inspires you, right? I'm kind of curious. I opened right to the page. It says, sometimes you need to cut through the nonsense and take charge of your own life. There you go. The Queen of Swords is a wise and experienced woman. Obviously, he, she, they. However, it resonates. They've been around long enough to feel secure in their own position and to know how to see clearly despite any emotion that might cloud the thoughts of others. While not cold, she is calm and cool. Whatever you do, don't try to lie to her. Her sword isn't just for decoration. She will be fierce in the defense of what she feels is right. She will come to the aid of any who are under her protection. Make sure you stay on her good side, and she will be an ally when you need one. Which is also so interesting. I'm glad that I read that, because we have the Seven of Wands underneath her, and the Seven of Wands is about standing your ground and defending your actions. And more so though too, like, so wands are fire, and it's actions, it's the like motivation behind the actions that we take. It's, how are we communicating the actions that we're taking? That it's also passion and creativity. What steps are we taking towards those things? How are we communicating those things? And I see the Seven of Wands as being, especially with your fifth line, with the second and the fifth line, actually, and 2 + 5 = 7, right? Whatever. But I think that's just a coincidence. But you have the double projection field The second line, it's like you have that natural kind of aptitude for something, or just kind of that easy breezy kind of energy that comes along with the second line, and people project things onto you about like, oh, you could be good at this, or you're so good at that, or whatever. And then you have the fifth line projection of the projections of being a hero, or being able to take over a situation, especially with it being under the Queen of Swords. Maybe you are finding yourself in a position where, one, maybe you are taking charge of your own life, like the book says. Maybe people are looking to you in some sort of leadership capacity, but and especially with this change in progress card, right? Like there definitely is some level of progression that's happening here anyway. But with the Seven of Wands, I see what I was going to say when I got on the thing about the second and the fifth line. I see these 6 wands down here, like there's these 6 hands that are pointing their wands at this figure here, and they're like backed against a cliff and having to be a bit defensive. But I see these 6 wands as being other people's projections. It's their reasons why you should or shouldn't do a thing. It's their fears, their doubts, their, I don't understand why you would want to do this, whatever thing. And, here you are like having to be like, I didn't even ask. I didn't ask for your opinion. I didn't ask you for your input. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. I believe in it. I'm passionate about it, whatever it is. Right? So it's interesting even that the book talks about like kind of defending your position, right? And both of these cards talk about that a bit. The Two of Pentacles is about balance. It's balancing responsibility. Pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time. What are we spending our time on? It's also our like physical presence. Where are we physically showing up in our lives? Where are we physically putting our time into, right? It's also our physical body and our health, our lifestyle, our daily routines. So with the Two of Pentacles, they're standing on the seesaw, this teeter-totter thing here, right? And they're standing with it in a position where it's level, right? And they even have the Two Pentacles above their head level. So if maybe you have felt like, things are flowing good. You have a good balance going on in your life. And I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because this has happened so many times, like in my life too, that, it's like you have to laugh, otherwise you'll cry type of thing. So maybe you have been in this energy where, like things have been in balance. You've been finding the time to do all of the things that you want to do. You have enough money for all of the things that you want to do, right? Like, and especially with this figure 8, right? Because it's like, the energy is just, it's flowing good. Well, look here. Look here. This cat is about to jump on this one side. And you're looking up. You being the proverbial person in this card, right? But you're looking up, you're focused on your responsibility. You're focused on these 2 things. It doesn't have to, it could be more than 2. It could just be 1, whatever. But you're focused on, like what is the important thing that you're doing. So you don't even see this cat that is a little menace. So, and I'm also kind of chuckling because the card that's underneath it is the Tower card. So whatever this cat signifies, there's going to be a wrench that's thrown into your what you've been doing, like And that could even be with the Queen of Swords and the Seven of Wands. You could have been really focusing your time and attention on prioritizing things. And maybe, even with the Seven of Wands, it's like, like having to make sacrifices, having to make decisions in order for something to stay in balance with the Two of Pentacles. But again, this cat is throwing a wrench into that plan. And we have the Tower card here, and the Tower card is a shakeup. It's sudden upheaval. I mean, this tower here is crumbled to the ground. And even the face on this witch, it's like, there you go. You're welcome. But also though, right? Okay, so the tower is it's Mars, which Mars is also like not very far from Venus and the moon right now. It's also not very far from Pluto. And I think next week Mars and Pluto are going to be conjunct, like they're going to be on top of each other in some capacity, or very close to each other. So again, it would depend on where Capricorn and Aquarius are for you in your chart, where you would start to or that you would recognize an energy, in that area of your life. So the tower, it's only going to affect the things that are no longer serving you. And sure, it can be uncomfortable, right? Because again, you could be either this person that's seeing it as an adventure, or you could be the cat that's like, what the hell? Either way, right? It's not wrong. Either way, it's still happening. It's just, what is your perception or perspective around what is happening? So also the tower, these things do need to crumble in order for energy to start moving forward, because maybe by being in this energy, things have gotten stagnant. Maybe things have, just been standing still, or just not moving forward in a capacity that they have the potential of doing. So when that happens, right, there usually is going to be a wrench that's kind of thrown into our lives to shaken things up a bit, to make us realize that, again, right, we've been too comfortable. We've gotten into a pattern that is maybe not serving our highest good, and it's preventing us from reaching our potential. So look out for that. And then we have the Strength card after that. The Strength card is a card of Leo. Leo is attached to the sun. The sun is also moving into, or is in, Aquarius. We have the new moon that's coming up on Friday, actually. So the moon, is going to be right next to the sun as far as transits go. That's what makes a new moon. So that's kind of interesting. But the Strength card is about determination, perseverance. I mean, we can see in this card that there is this tornado happening back here, but she's got a handle on it. She's not worried about it. She's still able to focus and kind of comfort the lion over here. There's that cat, right? The cat that jumped on this seesaw or teeter-totter, whatever it's called, over here is now and look, now you have a lion. You're welcome. You wouldn't have seen it. You wouldn't have seen the possibility of it if your focus was still just on those two things. So again, right, there's this tornado happening behind her. She's still able to keep it at bay. It's also about having the energy to do that, right? Having the capacity, having the energy to, also even realizing that it's possible to do that. So again, right, the Strength card is about determination, perseverance. It's inner strength. It's also, it could even be recognizing your own strength. Maybe it's recognizing a level of strength that maybe you didn't see in yourself before, right? Also, interestingly enough, it's the Chariot is at the end of the reading here. And like I was saying over with the Two of Pentacles and the Tower card, right? It's like shaking up that energy so that things can start moving forward. Because on the Chariot card, it says this way or that way. So, you know, it's creating opportunity is what this Tower card is doing. And you wouldn't have even seen the opportunity had you continued to look up at the Two Pentacles that have had your focus this whole time, right? That you've been trying your hardest to defend or keep going or whatever the case may be. But this Tower, again, like I said, it's only going to affect the things that are not serving your highest good, so that the things that do serve your highest good or that are meant for you have the opening, the availability to come into you, to reach you. So again, you know, the Chariot is Cancer. Never mind. I was like, what's in Cancer right now? Nothing. I was thinking about myself. Oh my gosh. How Leo. But, and I was just like relating that back to the Strength card. I love Leos. That wasn't a dig. And too, the 7 and the 8. So there's like this thing happening here, which is interesting that these two cards would come out in such close proximity, which tells me that, you know, I mean, the energy is moving. There is a progression, change and progress. That's literally change and progress. Change would be the Strength card. Progress would be the Chariot card. So, you know, the Chariot is also divine guidance. Like you are exactly where you need to be. You are going to end up being exactly where you need to be also. And then we have the Emperor at the bottom of the deck, and the Emperor is Aries. It's attached to Mars, like I said. Mars. Also, that's what with the Chariot, I'm thinking Cancer, but Cancer is ruled by the Moon. So this is all something that you will more than likely recognize in the next week, if not already, but also like until like the middle-ish of May, you'll see these energies play out too. So anyway, the Emperor, it's like taking charge. They are assertive, right? Like, it's the divine masculine. So not the gender, but just the energy. So it's initiating, it's going and getting, it's putting yourself out there. There's also even like, again, finding your own power is how that feels. They're now outside sitting on their throne versus inside with the Queen of Swords. They're mapping the sky too. So again, even just like the astrology aspect, you might even want to look at your chart. Like I said, like see where Capricorn and Aquarius are for you. But taking charge. We have the Two of Cups behind that, and the Two of Cups is making connections. It's sharing, it's like shared values, right? The Ace of Cups is like your cup is overflowing. You have enough for yourself, but also recognize that you have enough to give to somebody else. And you meet somebody else who also has a full cup. It could be romantic. It doesn't have to be. It could be business. It could be platonic. It could even be with yourself, you know, just finding this balance and this connection within yourself. But either way, this whole process that is happening because of the shakeup in the middle, it's also allowing these connections to reach you. It's allowing you to make these connections with other people. And the Eight of Wands was behind that, which is communication, fast moving communication too. There's all of a sudden a lot that's going to start happening around you. Even the tornado aspect, they're a lot closer to that tornado now than they were in the Strength card, but they're still in control. The Magician is a brand new beginning. It's having everything that you need in order to manifest the life, the thing, the job, the whatever it is that you want in your life. Beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards.